Why 1% daily beats 100% weekly every time. As entrepreneurs, we're constantly adjusting our systems, our people, our places, and we're trying to make brash changes all at one time. I know I've had that experience where it's like, let's chop down everything and restart. Now, the truth is that 1% wins compounded over an entire year. If we got 1% better every single day over an entire year, that would be 37x better. That is compounding of small wins. That is going to make a massive difference for us. So in this episode, I want to talk to you guys about the importance of compounding, what small wins mean, and we're going to talk about where this shows up in our physical energy, our mental clarity, our relationship capital, our systems and processes, and eventually our financial growth. So the truth is, we're all here and we're trying to create the life of our dreams. The way to do that, though, is one step at a time. You got to do right foot and left foot. That's the only way to do it. For example, like for myself, I started doing the podcast. And at first, I was doing it literally on my phone. No camera, no nothing. Then I got a computer. Then I got lights. Then I got a microphone. Then I rented the studio. Then you get your own studio. It's just part of the process. And my point being here is that you're constantly building one step at a time. So this is happening to you every single day, whether you know it or not. So let's dive into physical energy. Energy is our one renewable asset. It's something that we constantly have, and we have to check where our energy levels are. So what that means is that if we can create slightly higher energy each and every day, then we're building up that muscle that we can do more and more and more. So some of the compounding effect of like what you might be sitting there thinking, what's a 1% physical activity thing? Maybe 5 push-ups a day. If you do 5 push-ups a day, that's 150 a month. And 150 a month would actually end up being 1,800 for the entire year. So if you did 1,800 push-ups, would you be in a better place? Yes or no? Yes, obviously. So it's these little things that start to compound that allow you to create the life that you desire. And the reason I think physical energy is such a good one is because it's so measurable and monitoring. So whenever I want to improve on anything, I always think about measuring and monitoring. What does that mean? That means you pick one attribute, one key performance indicator, one thing that you can actually track to see if you're improving or not. So for me, like when I was running for the marathon running, you might think, hey, it's how many miles did you run? Sure, that's one of them. Another one for me, though, was also my resting heart rate or my ability to see if I'm actually improving on the inside. You know what I mean? Or how do I feel? Or how many calories am I taking in? So there's so many different things you can track. You don't have to do it all at once. Everyone wants to tell you you have to do 100 things at once. The truth is I've worked with hundreds of clients, and we always start with one thing at a time. We might have a list of 5 or 6 things that we want to do because they might be short and quick, but you have to be able to focus on one activity at a time. So the second thing is mental clarity. Mental clarity means that when you make a 1% decision, that's saying that I want to be present for this activity. That's saying that I want to remove the amount of decisions I have to make for myself. Because mental clarity, a lot of people start to drain, like Mark Zuckerberg. He's the founder of Meta, Facebook. And one of the things he was really known for is this idea of wearing the same t-shirt every day. What do you mean? Why would you wear the same t-shirt? The reason he did that is because he would wear the same outfit, more like a uniform, so he never had to think about his clothing. Once I learned about this, I got 7 or 8 different Edwards Consulting shirts, short sleeve, long sleeve, variations, and I wear them every single day. These are my go-to outfits because it gives me the mental clarity so I don't have to overthink on what to wear today and waste good thinking energy on that when I should be thinking about good energy on how do I produce the best YouTube video or podcast for my audience. See the difference of the mental shakes? So you start to realize that one's super beneficial and one's not that beneficial at all. I'll give you another quick hack. The other one we have for mental clarity to make decisions super easy is Monday through Thursday, every single week, me and my wife, we end up eating at home like 99% of the time. Why? Because then we don't have to think about dinner and we don't have to waste 45 minutes going to a dinner because we already have the dinner prepped. So it takes 10-15 minutes to do, and we can eat really easily, and then we can use that extra time to walk, debrief, feel better, understand our day, and really spend more meaningful time together instead of constantly trying to feel urgent about what's the next thing that I don't have. Where's my lunch? I don't know how that works. And these are the kind of things that a lot of people struggle with, especially when you're entrepreneuring and you're like, whoa, I need food. That's why I recommend to a lot of my clients is, especially if you're single and not a big cook, meal prep. Like, just get meal preps. It'll help you so much because the meal preps gives you cleaner eats, faster meals, and you don't have to worry about getting your meals every single time because they're already delivered to your house. It's a game changer. The third one where you can start compounding and this 1% is relationship capital. So what that means is that you can start to do things every single day to move the needle closer so that you can build better relationships with people. So one of the ways to do that is you can send out thank you notes. One of the ways you can do that is you can start to let people know that you care about them. One of the things I do around the New Year, Christmas time, I always send voice notes. So I'll go through my phone and send like probably 600 to 1,000 voice notes just saying, hey, I know we might haven't talked in a while. Really proud of you. Hopefully we can make something happen. And the impact has just been great. Why? Because it allows me to connect with so many people. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest issue is that it's not that we don't know so many people, because we're in this social media world where we can see all these people that we haven't talked to in years on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And you start to realize, like, do I really know these people, or am I really like friends with them? And I think one of the biggest challenges we have is we feel more comfortable following someone than we do actually having a meaningful conversation with them. So I would try to ask yourself, if you don't think you can get something in a positive manner from these people, then it might not make sense to follow them just because you were friends in high school or friends in middle school. So it really is that relationship capital of, am I with the people that I want to be around? Am I around higher level people that are actually pushing me in the correct direction? Because there's so many times where we sit there and you might have a friend, family member that's trying to drag you down because they don't want to see you change, because they don't want you to be in a different place. They want you where they should be. You know what I mean? And that can be really draining on all of us. So when you think about your relationships, make sure they're positive, make sure they're beneficial, and then think how to be very thoughtful in a very easy way. And that could be literally texting people out of the blue. One of my friends, actually, shout out Charlie Peterkins, he did a pretty funny one. So he's been to a lot of different weddings, and where I am, like, usually what ends up happening is people will send mail to you, inviting you to separate things. So usually what ends up happening is people send holiday cards around the holidays, which is usually December. He decided to send a letter over Labor Day. So what ended up happening is I got his card yesterday, and it was Happy Labor Day from your friend Charles. And it was just so thoughtful and so kind, and it wasn't inundated with everybody else's. So it made it really unique and special. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients, is I'll send them little things. Like, I was talking to a client the other day, and he was talking about how he wants to improve his weight. And I was like, okay, if you want to do that, one of the methods I would do is, I have these scales, they sell on Amazon, and they actually track your weight. Like, they have an app, they track your weight, they make it really simple and easy. So just on the call, I just sent it to him. And he's like, whoa, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, I want to do that. Like, you have a goal, I want to help you towards your goal, let's work towards it. And you start to realize pretty quickly that you build a lot of relationship capital by doing that kind of stuff. The next thing you want to do is systems and processes. So these are, we've talked about them a little bit, but it's how you think about your life. So for me, some of the systems I've implemented are like, I have a 6 a.m. Muay Thai class on Tuesday and Thursday. I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go to the gym. Saturday, I do a long run. So it's just automatically knowing where I'm going to do and start to try to implement that on a weekly schedule. Yes, I do travel a lot, but at the same time, when you're home, you want to make it a really simple schedule. Even with this system, I wanted to improve on YouTube. I found the studio, I tried it out, I liked it, and I thought to myself, how can I implement this on a more regular basis? I'm going to be here for the next couple weeks, so I'm going to do this weekly to get closer to my goals that I'm trying to achieve. The other big one is sleep. You want to have your systems for sleep. So I wear a Fitbit. My Fitbit tracks everything I'm doing. And I'm just throwing a lot of examples at you guys so that you can start to think about these, because at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to pick one of these and really apply it to your life and start to measure and monitor the improvements and see if there are improvements, because I truly believe there will be. And when I'm doing these episodes, I don't want to do these for me to just talk to the camera. I want to really provide you value, and I want you to understand that how do you really create habits? How do you build compound interest? How do you grow yourself and create these small wins in your life? So each of these, as you start to see more and more improvement, you're creating another win, another win, another win. The more things you measure and monitor, the more wins you're going to be able to create, which is so beneficial and so exciting. And the last one is financial growth. So financial growth, when you start to think about that 1% better, that might be investing 1% a day. What that could look like is maybe you open up a Fidelity account, a Vanguard account, whatever, and then you just auto invest. And you just do if you don't have much money, you can do $5 a day or $5 a week or $5 a month. But at least you're building out the habits. The biggest challenges we face is that we do not have the structure and the control to try to keep compounding and getting those wins. So sometimes we have to automate it. That's why it's easier for me to come in here, shoot the content, do the recordings, because if I don't, then I'm sitting at home and I might be sitting there for 8 hours because I might not be ready to take action. And this looks a lot clearer too, which I appreciate as well. So you start to realize that everything we're doing here is all about creating systems. It's about making your life easier and improving 1% each day. And the reason I say that is because each day I want you to look for a win. I want you to sit there and really process, what does a win look like for me? Is a win waking up? Is a win listening to this podcast? Is a win learning something new? What is an easy win that you can create that makes it super small, super digestible, and something you want to apply these actions to? So now that we're nearing the end of the video, I do want you to sit there and declare something today. I want you to throw your flag in the ground and make a decision. What is it that you want to start working on? I want you to pick something from one of the 5 areas, from physical energy, mental clarity, relationship capital, systems and processes, and financial growth. I want you to pick one of those right now and choose an activity that you will start to implement into your life. If it's mental clarity, it might be reading 1 page of a book each day. If it's relationship capital, it might be sending out 1 nice text message a week or every single day, whatever works best for you. But the thing is, I want you to start to implement this, because without implementation, we don't make a change. And when we make changes, we make bigger and bigger wins. And you're probably asking, Jordan, why are you doing this? I'm doing this because I want people to realize the benefits of creating value. I want them to realize that once they can create their own habits, they can create their own lives, and they can do whatever they believe to be possible. And if you guys ever want to dive deeper on any of these subjects, reach out in the comments, send me a message on Instagram, Jordan F. Edwards, and we can totally dive in. I can't wait to hear about your journey. I can't wait to learn about it. And I really hope you guys found value in why 1% daily beats 100% weekly every single time.